Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm your host, Coach Tripp, here on this Thursday night, November 9th. And my buddy, Coach Mark Hobley here.
Hello.
Hob, you in there, bud?
Yeah.
All right, that's our camera. We're gonna work on the camera a little bit. Hobbs is showing up. Hey, we got a special guest today, Coach Jim Nunnelee. Man, thanks for joining the show today.
I'm glad to be here. It's been a long time.
Gosh, Nunny, it has been a while since you've been on. I don't know if you've been on the podcast. You've been on the radio show for years, but
yeah.
Hey, how's your Escambia? You got we're going to talk high school football. Your Escambia Gators, all right, going up against Pine Forest, the local team at Pine Forest. How'd you guys practice this week? How was practice?
We had a real good practice, probably the best of the year. So we'll see if that translates to the game Friday night.
Yeah, I was watching on Pat McAfee show today. He had Nick Saban on, and they were talking about how you practice and what happens in the games depends really on your focus during practice. You guys, when you focus good, you guys play well. You just have to stay clean, right? Is Coach Bennett been stressing limit penalties, mistakes, stupid stuff, and turnovers?
I think that's the thing that's killed us in our three losses. We've lost 3 games by 12 points. And we didn't play very well. We played well. We fumbled the ball a bunch and got a bunch of silly penalties. And we can eliminate that. We think we got a pretty good chance of winning tomorrow night.
In 3S, if you guys win, you go play the winner of Middleburg and St. Augustine. St. Augustine's number 1 at 9-0. They're a powerhouse again. Have you played over there before? You've been coaching for 87 years.
Well,
have you been?
When I was in Lake City, we played them every year. They were in our district. And then it seems like every year we're in the playoffs, we end up having to play St. Augustine over there. And I would just like maybe St. Augustine had to make that trip over here at least one time before I get out of it. It takes a two-day trip. We have to leave on Thursday, spend the night, then prepare on Friday to play. And then after the game, they're on Eastern time, so it's an hour ahead of time. But then still, we usually get back at daybreak, and it makes for a long.
Everybody's going to be traveling. Looks like after the first week, anyway. Gosh, you folks, we're talking with Coach Jim Nunnelee, coach of Escambia High School. Been with Bennett for a long, long time with Coach Bennett over PHS. You won the state title 2009. Coach, you played at Auburn back in the day, so I won't give you too much flack about what's going on. But how do you like them against Arkansas this week?
Well, I had a lot of confidence until I saw Arkansas beat Florida Saturday. That quarterback's the real deal for Arkansas, and Arkansas played really, really well, and they played in the swamp too. So is Auburn game, is that at Arkansas or at Auburn?
Let me check my notes.
At
Arkansas, 3:00 on the SEC network. Auburn's actually getting 2.5 points. I'll take Auburn.
Well, they played really well against Vanderbilt, but I don't know how good they are. But I said if the expectation for Hugh Freeze got kind of out of hand there for a little bit because he didn't start. It's zero. He started below zero. I mean, negative numbers, and he's done a great job. With the transfer portal. If they can just go above 500, I think he's done a great job this year. So
start bowling, and then the recruits start coming in. You have to give the guy 3, 4, or 5 years. There are a lot of great coaches that had losing records early in their career, became Hall of Famers.
Them Tiger fans will, be patient because. It didn't get that bad overnight. It took a little while for it to, and you can't end up like some teams like Tennessee that it took them 10 years to get it back on track. And if you're not patient enough, but I think Hugh Freeze is the one that can do it because he's a great recruiter, and great recruits make great coaches. I don't care how good David is. He didn't win all them games because he was a really good coach. They're all good coaches.
Well, you've been coaching for a long time, Coach. Talk about how you got into coaching and talk about some of your first stops and then how old you were at the Lakes when you were at Lake City, how many years you were there, and then what happened that went bad in the team picture. You got to tell that story.
Well, you know, me and you were talking the other day. I found out that, you know, I could have coached you in high school because I started in 1978. So I think you were a senior in high school in 78, 79, something like that. So
Yep.
I've been around. Mike Bennett was my student teacher at Pine Forest back in '84. So,
wow.
So that's how long ago it's been. But I coached at Sidney Lanier High School in Montgomery.
Oh yeah.
And one time it was kind of like the Hoover of high school sports.
Mm-hmm.
Son, you know, always kidding me, boy, I wish I'd have played for Hoover. You know, and I said, well, it wouldn't have worked out too good when I was around because we beat them every year. They were the Berry Buccaneers. They were in the Jefferson County School District, and they went out on their own and changed it from Berry to Hoover Buccaneers. But we played them back when I was in high school. And once I got out of school, I had to do something. Went back to my alma mater. My principal at Lanier was he was the superintendent or our assistant superintendent, and he called me up and told me I was coming to that school to coach. I went back to Sidney Lanier. He didn't give me any options. He just told me you're coming there. So I did. Almost starved to death. I was making $9,600 a year as a teacher and a coach, but worked my way up. And then after 5 years there, I went and watched Choctaw and Enterprise play one night. And I was looking around. I said, hey, I got to get down here in Florida because a lot of coaches from Alabama, Billy Livens had gone to Vero Beach and they just won a state championship. And a funny story there was I applied at a couple of places. I didn't really, know much about Florida, mostly Panama City and Fort Walton Beach. And they offered me a job at Fort Walton Beach and Mosley. George Dean was at Mosley. So he offered me a job and I took it and he never called me back. So a guy from Pensacola Pine Forest called me and offered me a job. So I came down to Pensacola first time I'd ever been here. Took the job coaching. And the first game, of course, we played Mosley. And I saw George Dean. He came running down the field and said, hey, man, what happened to you? I hired you and you didn't show up. And I said, well, you were supposed to call me. He said, I lost your phone number. And I said, well, and nothing I can do about it now. So he walked away, and the head coach, Joe Montgomery, said, he didn't lose your phone number. I said, well, how do you know he didn't lose my phone number? He said, because I stole it off his desk.
Wow.
And I called you. So that's how I ended up in Pensacola. And then we had a couple of successful years there. And then Pat Summerall, the famous sportscaster, came calling. He was the Booster Club president in Lake City, Columbia, and said, y'all are all coming to Lake City. So
wow.
I went over there for 3 years and I took a head coaching job at Daytona. And then I decided it was best to move back to Lake City. And I stayed there about 10 years and I really enjoyed it there. But
wow.
I was watching Bobby Knight the other day and I asked him what his biggest regrets were about coaching. He said, I just stayed at one place too long. And I realized I'd been at Lake City too long. And then I called Bill Fryman. That's another wild story. I don't know if you remember Bill Fryman. It was at Tate.
No, legend though. Yeah, treasure,
Coach,
Pensacola treasure.
Of course, Coach. Of course.
Me and him are great friends, and so I called him up and I said, "Bill, I got to get out of Lake City. I've been here too long." He says, "Well, I don't have anything, but my wife is head of personnel here in Escambia County, and I'll talk to her." So the next morning, I got a phone call. He said, "You ain't gonna believe this. Shop teacher and football coach just retired." And I was sitting in the principal's office, and she says, "Oh my gosh, where am I going to find another shop teacher?" He said, "You ain't gonna believe this. One just called me last night." So they called me up on the spot, and I called my wife and I said, "Hey, we're moving to the Pensacola." So that's how I ended up here. So
wow, God works in mysterious ways, doesn't he?
He does, and just let him at the controls, and he'll take care of everything. Right?
Amen to that, brother. Wow. All right. Well, you got to tell that story on how the mascot got loose.
Coach, as long as I've known you, and we go back to the early '90s and coaching together, I've never heard you tell that story about the horse.
Well, it's funny. Even the last couple of years, it's come back to remind me of some things. the first year we're in Lake City, the Booster Club, they have this zoo in or this little compound in Lake City for abused and neglected circus animals.
Oh,
And
wow.
So, and they had these tigers and leopards and all kind of animals that they take over. And they come up with the idea that we will take a 700-pound Siberian or Bengal tiger and run him out on the football field, lead our football team out on the field.
Oh, my goodness.
Before the game.
Brilliant, brilliant.
So we took the captains of the team, the rest of the uniform. We're going to get a picture with them. So we go to this compound, and this guy walks out, this 700-pound tiger, and he's has got a logging chain around his neck. And I'm like, dang, that's a big animal right there. So we're going to get set up for a picture. So they get him to sit down, and the kids stand behind him and the coaches stand behind him. We're about to take a picture. About that time, this horse, comes running behind.
Got loose?
He comes running behind the guy taking the picture out in this field. And the next thing I know, this tiger bolts in an instant, takes off after the horse and takes him, nails him
down. Oh my gosh, in front of the whole team and everything?
It was just the captains and the coaches, and he rips the horse's
Oh,
throat out.
Man.
And he's now eating the horse. And the owners has got a chain pulling on that chain. So they had to bring out a tranquilizer dart and shoot the tiger.
Oh my
and knock
gosh.
him. And the horse is dead, and the tiger's got blood all over him. And so he set him back down, said, let's get the picture. Tiger's got blood all over him. And everybody is not looking at the camera. We're all looking down at
Oh my gosh.
at the tiger.
Holy cow. The show must go on.
And the photographer was the newspaper reporter or sports guy, and he was clapping his hands trying to get the tiger to look at him. And we all kind of looked at him, and he says, hey, that's probably not a good idea to be doing that. So
No.
And
It
then
wasn't a good
later,
idea to bring the tiger out at all, I don't think.
Then years later, we saw, I took my kids to the Suwannee Valley Zoo, and we was looking at the tigers, and the name of the tiger was Shastri. And I looked on the name of it, and it was Shastri. He was in the zoo there, and I said, I remember you very well. And not too long ago, this show, Airplane Repo, is on TV.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that he's from Lake City. He handles all the wild animals. He was the one at the compound with the tiger. So every time I saw that show, it reminded me of the.
Oh my gosh! What a story, Coach.
We had a big picture of the tiger with blood all over him, and the kids all looking at him on the front page of the paper the next day. So that was kind of unique. But I wouldn't copy that paper. I can tell you that.
You don't run into that every day.
No.
My gosh. All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit about, since you and Hobbs, you guys know the Eastern and Central Florida and South Florida a lot better than I do. So let's talk a little bit about the playoffs in 4S. Number 2, Niceville, 8-2. At number 7, Nice, 7-3. That looks like a pretty tough first-round game for those two teams, Coach.
Well, it's not the typical Niceville teams we've seen in the past.
Exactly.
It's been, I think they're a little down this year, so I don't know about Nice. Back when I first started coaching, there was St. Augustine and Nice. That was the only 2 teams in St. Johns County. Now there's probably 5 or 6 high schools over there now.
Number 3 seed Bartram Trail is 6-4, or at number 6 seed Navarre, 7-3. That's unusual for a 3 seed to travel to 6, but if you win the district, you're guaranteed a home game, right?
Not anymore. That's all been thrown out the window.
All gone?
I thought it was too, but it's I think the ranked teams now.
We're all ranked? I don't know. That's at Navarre. All right, number 8, Mosley, 6-4. At number 1, Buchholz, 10-0. Buchholz is number 1 in the state in 4S.
Buchholz is pretty good. They beat Lake City really bad in the first opening game, so had a running clock.
They have a real good quarterback there at Buchholz. That should be the team to beat in that region.
Absolutely. 5, and then bottom set, The winner, Buchholz, will take on number 5 Creekside, who's 6-4, or Ponte Vedra, who's 7-3. So they'll be squaring off in the second round, probably at Buchholz.
Yeah.
All right, 3S. You guys 7-3 at number 4 Pine Forest, 6-4. You guys played them once this year, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you guys look at that film, or do you look at their last 3 games mainly?
We look at everything. We know what we got to do to win, and they know what they got to do to win. They beat us 3 times in a row, and we're trying to break that streak this time. And especially, it's kind of get to the playoffs, as you know well. It's kind of different because it's one and done. There's no tomorrow, so better not leave.
You got to play a clean game every time.
Yeah.
And kicking game comes down to it in the playoffs because they're so evenly matched. A field goal or a block punt or a punt return or kickoff return is the difference.
Yeah, well, that's how we've lost to them a couple of times. They ran a punt 2 years ago, and it cost us.
Yep. Well, I've lost playoff games and won them with extra point and field goals. Number 8 Middleburg, 5-5, has no chance at number 1 St. Augustine. St. Augustine is ranked number 1 in 3S. And then the bottom half of the bracket, number 7, Montanza. I don't know much about. They're 7-3, but they play at number 2 Lincoln, who's 8-2 and really good. Columbia 4-5 at number 3 Choctaw. Wow, that could be a great second round game between Lincoln and Choctaw. Looks like at Lincoln, right? The higher seed.
Yeah, that game should be at Lincoln. And Coach, you know a lot about Columbia. 4 wins. They win the district over there. They should have more than 4 wins with that program over there.
Yeah, they lost a lot on offense. They still have some D1 players on defense, especially the whole secondary, which they had a lot of commitments to Louisville and some few other schools. They're really good there. And in the start of the season, they played Buchholz, which was a pretty good, tough game to start with.
Right.
Then they had some problems at school and had to cancel the second game because they had some problems over there and they had to when they couldn't play the second game, so or practice or anything else, so they fell kind of behind. So they may be caught up by now.
Right,
that's interesting.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to 2S. Number 8 South Walton at number 1 Walton, 10-0. They're number 3 in Class 2S. Cocoa is in 2S, and they're the number 1 team in the whole state of Florida, including the Metros. Cocoa, 2S, number 1. How good is Coach Bob Stinnett's alma mater?
Well, it was, they won the state championship back to back there for a while, and then that coach there took a job at New Smyrna Beach. So I don't know who's coaching there, but they have a lot of talent there. I can tell you that right now. So no matter what classification they're in.
Coach, they have a sophomore quarterback who threw for 500 yards against St. Thomas. St. Thomas jobbed them in Fort Lauderdale earlier this year. A sophomore quarterback.
Wow.
That threw for 500 against St. Thomas. When you throw for 500 against St. Thomas, you've done something.
Absolutely.
Hey, it might be harder to throw against 500 for St. Thomas than Florida.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, so Walton takes care of South Walton. They're going to take on the winner, number 5 Sewanee at 6-3, and taking on my old Satyrs, Catholic Crusaders, 8-2 at home. At home tomorrow night, Friday night. It's going to be. Wish I could go, but I can't. What game you go? You're going to Escambia?
Oh, definitely going to the game.
The game.
Going to the game.
All right. Number 2, Wakulla hosts number 7 Gadsden City, and number 6 Mariana at number 2 Florida State High School, which I heard was really good.
Yeah, I heard they were good too. I really do. Really
good. So I don't know. Catholic's going to, if they get by Sewanee, they're going to have a hard time getting past the second round into the regionals.
Yeah, I heard Florida High was they're in the same division with Catholic, right?
Yes.
Right.
Florida High, I heard they were.
Yeah, they're in the bottom bracket, but
unfortunately, Coco's in 2S. So
yeah. All right, and then the rival up north, Northview 3-6 at J 7-3. All right, backyard rivals going up against each other in the first round of the playoff. It'll be packed up there at J with both fans from both teams. Old West Summerford went to the state title game last year at Northview, but lost a lot of talent, and he's 3-6. But they've gotten better as the year has gone along. And Jay started out with a bunch, but Coach Brian Watson's got them ready for a playoff win, possibly.
I think Brian Watson, Coach of the Year, 7-3. Coach, what do you think?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to talk college. You want to stay with us and talk college football with us, Nun?
A few more minutes. Why not?
All right. Let's dive into it.
I had a little question for you.
Okay.
How many teams are going to be in the playoffs this year? Is it 4 or 2 or is it 8? I can't.
It's 4 this year and go to 12 next year. Well, they think they're not certain, but it looks like it.
In the NCAA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they tabled that 12-team playoff.
I didn't know if they were going to 8 or what they were going to do.
No, they just tabled the 12-team playoff. Right. Yeah.
Well, that makes it really tough if it's just 4 teams, because I know Florida State's probably one.
I think Alabama could beat I think Alabama could beat Florida State by 2 touchdowns, but they won't. They're 8. They're 8, and FSU's 4.
Yeah, I'm saying. But I thought Alabama should have been in it last year, but didn't work that way. But I mean, either Ohio State or Michigan probably going to be in there. So that's 2.
Yeah, right. Knock each other. One is going to knock the other one out. Right.
Looking at maybe Washington being in there, and then maybe Georgia. That might be the 4 right there, and going to leave Alabama and Texas and some really good teams. Out in the cold, and Oregon may be playing the best ball right now. So
Oregon's pretty good.
Absolutely, good point.
Very good.
Good point, Coach. They are playing the best of everybody. They've been just knocking it. They're 15-point favorites. USC. All right, let's get into the top 25, but we'll give an Argo update first. Head coach Caleb Nobles has the Argo 7-3, and they play Chowan University, who's Ophir. So they'll beat the heck out of them. And I think they will get a seed, but I'm pretty sure, I talked to Will Kennedy today, pretty sure they're going to have to go on the road, though, the first round of the playoffs. But looks like they're in. They beat Mississippi College, Jody Mabry's old team. Pretty bad. Mississippi College, 42-14 last week. So they're into the playoffs. I don't know if they have the team they've had in the last few years, but we'll see. All right, UAB 3-6 at Navy. I like to put in Navy. So we are naval aviation area, right? A lot of Navy guys listen. 3-5, 2:30 on CBS Sports Network. UAB's 2.5-point favorites. Go midshipmen. I'm taking midshipmen. Auburn 2.5 points getting against Arkansas. Arkansas State 5-4 playing at South Alabama, who's 4-5, and South Alabama's 11-point favorites.
Yeah,
pretty interesting. I don't see how they beat Oklahoma State by 4 touchdowns. I still don't understand.
One of my old students, one of my old players, he's the center for South Alabama. I got to watch him against Troy State the other day, and I hadn't forgotten. Now we got a date for the Troy State South Alabama game next year.
Yes, we do need to go to that game next year.
Yeah.
Hey, who's your center? Who was your center there?
Reggie Smith.
Reggie Smith.
His dad, his grandfather coaches with us at this game.
Oh wow! University of Buffalo defensive tackle Deshaun Folsom. Give him. He played well the other night. Scambia High. He's a senior there, and congrats to him. He's played for 3 years there. He's gotten into a lot of games in his career at Buffalo.
He still has another year left.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's deep dive into the college football top 25 as Hobbs and I were just on fire last week. We went 12-6 against the spread. Hobbs, you didn't lose any, but you didn't gain any because we picked like 11, 12 different games. It's not like we picked the same teams.
Right.
We both ended up 12-6. Hobbs is 76-77. You're only 11 games behind. I was wrong the other day. Okay. I'm 87-66. I'm at 57% on the year. None.
What is
I'm killing Vegas.
What's your record, Mark?
I'm one under 500 right now.
He's 76-77, and
that's in college.
College.
The push.
We've had a few pushes. All right, Hobbs, you're going to be our guest picker. Okay. Hobbs and I are on fire. I'm at 57% where I've been the last 3 years. So I guess I'm just that person. All right. Ohio State, 31.5-point favorites over Michigan State, 6:30 on NBC Saturday. Who you got, Nunn?
I think they'll cover. I think Ohio State will cover.
Okay.
Michigan State got a lot
I'll
of
take
problems.
Ohio State.
He's taking. Oh, he usually takes the points.
Yeah.
Nunn and I are taking the points. Georgia, 10.5-point favorites. Okay, over hosting number 10 Ole Miss, 6 o'clock on ESPN. I just have to go with Georgia.
Bulldogs. Yeah. I'm with Bulldogs.
All right.
I like the Dogs.
All right. Everybody likes the Dogs in that one. Michigan, they're 4.5-point favorites at Penn State, 11 o'clock on Fox. I'm going with Penn State to cover, and I'm taking the over 44.5.
Ugh. I hate Michigan, but I have to go. Give me Michigan.
None.
I'm gonna go with Hobbs. Hey, back in the old days when I played, there was see if you remember the show called Leonard's Losers.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yes. I remember that show.
I wish we do that one time. You don't pick the winner, you pick the loser, man.
I remember that.
We'd all stop everything in the dorm, and everybody had Leonard's Losers on. We'd give a great spiel and say, Leonard's Losers, Bulldogs. And
the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Created signs and everything, probably. All right, number 4, FSU, 14.5-point favorites over rival Miami, 2:30 on ABC. Gosh, I have no idea in this game. Every time I pick FSU, they lose. But I don't think Miami has the guns this year to stay with them. FSU's on a roll. I'm going to take FSU.
I'll take Miami. I'll take the points.
I'll pick the Seminoles, too. They've been playing really well.
Washington is playing really well. 9.5-point favorites over Utah, who just spanked somebody. And Utah's playing well. 2:30 on Fox. I got to take Utah to cover. I think Washington's going to play not so well. I mean, they've been playing so well. Mm-hmm. Utah's playing great. I'm just going to take the points. What do you got, Nunn?
I'll probably go to that. Might be the toughest one of the day right there. I'll probably go with Washington in the point.
Whoa, that's a tough one there. I'll have to go with Utah.
All right, Oregon playing great against USC, who's given up a ton of points and just going backwards on the scale of trends. Oregon, I think, will blow them out. I'm taking Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
I saw where USC just fired their defensive coordinator after giving up 50-something points. So I'll probably go with Oregon.
All right, Texas is on a mission. I don't think TCU is very good. I don't know why it's a 10-point spread, but I'm leaning towards Texas, 6:30 on ABC.
Yeah, Texas.
I'll take TCU. Texas is nothing special.
Oh,
nothing special.
The lady right here is graduated graduate school from University of Texas. Alabama, 10.5-point favorite. Alabama, 10.5-point favorites at Kentucky, 11 o'clock on ESPN. I'm 57% for a reason, and it's partly because I pick Alabama every week and win more than 57%. I'm going with the Tide to roll by 2-3 touchdowns at Kentucky.
Well,
I'm going to go Leonard's Losers. I'm going to pick Kentucky to lose.
I'm going to pick Kentucky to lose? Well,
come on, go against me. Go against me, baby. You'll never catch up that way.
Give me the Wildcats.
All right. He's got guts, if nothing else. All right. Oklahoma, 7-2. 13-point favorites hosting West Virginia, 6 o'clock on Fox. I don't know why. Is West Virginia really pretty good? I don't know anything about them, but I think Oklahoma's better.
That's like picking two dogs right there, man. They both not very good.
I'll take West Virginia. I'll take, who is it? Bo Brown? Is that the coach there? The guy from Troy?
Neil Brown.
Oh yeah, Neil Brown. Yeah, he's turning it around.
Yeah, I'll take Neil Brown.
You take Neil Brown. None. You taking your old Troy boy?
I'm going Leonard Losers, West Virginia. Excuse me, I'm gonna go Oklahoma. Leonard Losers, Oklahoma to lose.
No, you're going to be doing pretty good. You're picking all the ones I got. All right, skip Ole Miss and Penn State. They're playing already. Missouri, 1 point given up. Tennessee, number 17, Tennessee, 2:30 on CBS. I'm going with Missouri.
I'm picking Tennessee to lose.
Okay.
I'll go Big Orange.
All right. LSU, 13.5-point favorites over fading Florida, 6:30 on the SEC network. Hey, what do you got to say to all the Gator fans out there, Nunn?
Well,
Too bad.
They just playing some rough football right now, man. They just can't get out of their own way. But if they like to say if they leave Napier alone, he'll probably turn that program around. But Auburn fans and LSU fans and Florida fans ain't got much patience, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
Neither does Bama. If you
And
come down to it,
I got a feeling the LSU fans are still maybe a little riled up too. So
who you got? 13.5-point favorites. LSU is.
I'm gonna pick Florida to lose.
All right.
I'll take the Reptiles.
Take the points.
Yeah.
All right. Oregon State, 21-point favorites over woeful Stanford. Stanford's actually playing a little better. They actually won a game last week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Stanford trending up. Oregon State maybe fumbles a couple or something. I'm taking Stanford. I got to take an underdog. I take mostly favorites on my picks, and I don't know why, but it's worked out well for me. But I'm going to take Stanford in an upset of points.
I'll take Stanford to lose.
Okay.
I'll take Oregon State.
Yeah. All right. UCLA, 17-point favorites hosting Arizona State. I'm going to take UCLA to rebound. Arizona State's just not very good.
Just two dogs with just different fleas on them, man.
Coach, I went to that UCLA Arizona State when Demarius played one Thursday night a long time ago. I think that was around 2014. And UCLA, they ran 62 on them. You probably remember the weekend. They ran 62 on them.
What?
And then the next week was the miracle catch that Arizona State caught in the Rose Bowl against USC. The Hail Mary was the next week.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll have to take the Sun Devils here at home.
Okay. None?
Like I say, man, they're just different fleas on different dogs.
All right. I'll give you Arizona State.
I'll take Arizona State, too. I mean, dang.
All right. 3 left. Pain's almost over. Kansas, 4.5-point favorites. Texas Tech, 11 o'clock on FS1. I'm just taking Kansas because I don't know anything. I don't know anything good about Texas Tech.
Texas Tech to lose because Kansas has been playing pretty good here lately.
Yep.
I'll be on that side as well.
Oklahoma State really turned it around after that 4-touchdown loss to South Alabama. 7-2. They're 2.5-point favorites at UCF. UCF's not that impressive. Oklahoma State just beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I'm taking Oklahoma State. I don't know why it's 2.5. That might be my lock of the week.
I'm taking UCF because Malzahn has got a big contract and they start playing terrible.
Oh, okay.
I'll go out there with you.
Wow. All right. That could be a backbreaker.
Could be a letdown for Oklahoma State. Could be a trap.
Game. Yeah, letdown game. You're right. Depends on the coach. Kansas State, 6-3, 20.5-point favorites, hosting Baylor. Baylor's not very good. I'm taking Kansas State.
Baylor's the best covering team in NCAA.
Oh, are they?
65%.
Well, that's why you're taking Baylor.
Of course.
Hey, Hobbs did some research this week, man.
Yes,
he's got to catch up, man, to me. I got him by 11. That's 7 percentage points.
Baylor's the best covering team in the country.
Retired guys can spend all that time. Wealthy landowners.
Right. I think you're retired. You're just out there on that football field.
No,
I got enough sense not to go back out there.
Oh,
I'm back teaching again. But,
well, it's a joy. Thanks for taking the time, Nunn. Good luck tomorrow night in the playoff game. Let's keep in touch. Okay. All right, brother.
Hey, tell old Taylor and the family I said hello and look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Go Gators.
Go Gators, man. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that wraps it up. Hob, another edition of Local Sports Report, folks. If you like this podcast, please like and share. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Search Paul Tripoli Coach's Corner. It's all you got to do. If it's free, it's for me. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for these great messages, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thomas Home Corporation wanted to remind you, if you are planning to build your next home, call Thomas Home Corporation at 479-9834. Since 1990.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Hey,
my name is Steve Reynolds. I'm the manager and owner of Cordova Lanes, and we help keep your mind out of the gutter. Cordova Lanes is part of the community of Pensacola. Being here for 43 years, we've entertained more people than any other bowling center in the city. We self-fund for a living. Cordova Lanes is located.
Barnes Heating and Air is a proud sponsor of Alabama football, serving the entire Pensacola community for over 50 years. Barnes Heating and Air is passionate about providing customers with world-class air conditioning and heating repairs, sales, and installation. Barnes Heating and Air is family-owned, insured, and committed to quality. For a free estimate, call 478-0141. Barnes Heating and Air is #1 in customer service with service calls 7 days a week. Call Barnes Heating and Air, 478-0141, and roll Tide.
Arbitrium Consulting for all your fencing, landscaping, pressure washing, tree trimming needs. Call 850-483-0350 for your free estimates. Serving Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, Destin, Perdido, Gulf Shores, Foley, and the entire Gulf Coast. Arbitrium Consulting is owner-operated, fully licensed and insured. Call today, 850-483-0350, the official landscaper of Coach's Corner. Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
For over 30 years, you have seen the orange Beck signs all over the Gulf Coast listing a property for sale or lease. Beck Partners is your trusted advisor in commercial real estate, property management, commercial and personal insurance. Senior Vice President David Valletto has been with Beck Partners since 1989. Take advantage of his wealth of knowledge by calling him today at 982-7352. 982-7352. Extensive experience in all aspects of leasing, sales, management, and site selection will make sure your expectations are exceeded.